On live. All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're not on the water. We're not doing bonsai trees, or we're not going. What we're talking about today is who makes the best bait casting reel in the world. Any guesses? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you. Nobody. They're all very close nowadays. There's no one that like just skyrockets above the others. There are just two major brands out there. In case you guys are wondering, it's not Luz, and sadly, it's not Abu Garcia. I personally am an Abu Garcia guy. Used to be. The Revos, when they first came out, fell in love with Gen 1, Gen 2s, awesome reels. Gen 3, they sucked. Horrible color, paint, the feel, the gearbox is way down low, couldn't palm it right. Not good. Gen 4, not any better. The only saving grace for Abu Garcia, they started the Japanese versions anyway, the real small ones, the MG Extreme 2 size, LTX BF8, ALC BF7, the LC line, those are awesome little reels. Problem is, it's just the same thing as the problem with Shimano reels. They're just not a Daiwa. Problem with Daiwa, they keep putting this TWS on everything, the Tulas and all that. They're getting better, but they had these big bulky things. I'm going to jump into that and show you. But this is just about my combos, my opinion. I'm not a professional on anything. You know, jack of all trades, king to none. You guys heard that expression before. Well, if you haven't, you have now. So we're going to jump down here and talk about what I did today while I'm not going fishing and what my take is on the best bait casting reel ever. It's actually a Daiwa, just so you guys know. So, I've been out shopping today. First thing I went and bought that I absolutely needed isn't anything to do with bait casting, but with fishing, you got to have good trolling motor batteries. I know it's an Everstart, right? Somebody's going, that's not good, Charlie. But these are only like $78, and the reason I don't get the real big ones, I like to have a backup one, and I can pick, these aren't that heavy, and you can, for this little boat, if I had a big monster boat and I was going to put trolling motor batteries in there and leave them and put an inboard charger, all that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't be running those. But if you're just looking for a battery that should run several hours, I've got hours on these, and I don't know why. This one is about 4 years old and it's still going good. I bought two at the same time. The other one finally crapped out on me, so I had to buy this one. But 4 years, that's good on a battery. I've used the heck out of these batteries. Anyway, while I was out at Walmart does have some fishing stuff. They, for whatever reason, they have a 5-pack of the Rage Swimmers, and they only had a couple colors to choose from, but I went ahead and picked up some of those. If you guys haven't seen it yet, but there's a video coming up with me and Charles. Really got on a good bite with these. The Keytex, they were falling apart real quick. I also have a couple Guggen ones, and I just wanted to try out the Rage Swimmers, so I got a couple packs of those. I'm going to order the Guggen. I think I like the Guggens better than I do the Keytex. The Keytex, you guys have heard me, if you're familiar with the channel, they fall to pieces. One, maybe two fish, and we're catching little fish on a place that just bite after bite, and we caught probably over 50 bass, but, it wasn't, they liked the swim baits, and it didn't seem to matter. The Guggens were actually, I think, got on it to working a little bit better than the Keytex. So we're going to try out these Rage Swimmers, see if they're any more durable. I think they'll all work. They're almost all the same, You guys know me and my issue with Strike King. They copy everybody. They copy Keytech, and they call it their innovative whatever, but Keytech's really the first one to come out with the fat swing impact, right? And then Strike King for a while was with Z-Man, or before maybe even they called themselves a Z-Man, but these Elastec 4-inch finesse, I honestly, I don't think I've ever had the 4-inch. I've always just bought the 7-inch finesse worms. I'm going to try these for drop shotting. And I also picked up one more color. I have one color, I can't remember exactly, but this is just a more natural shiner color. I want to try drop shotting if me and Charles go back to this spot. You guys, once you see it, it's like super crystal clear water. The swim baits were working, and I also got the like a Cinco style Z-Man worm to work in a green and white. But anyway, also, you guys watch the channel. I started using these Biffle bug style. Right here they are. And this is only two they had in that size left. They were on sale at Bass Pro. I went to Bass Pro. Got a couple packs of those, but while I was at Walmart, Arky makes, just a cheaper version of the similar type of thing. I just went ahead and bought a couple packs in different sizes because they got a 1/4 ounce. These are 3/16. It's always good to have a few different, size weights. You want that bait to go down and just be bouncing on the bottom. You don't want it to stick too hard in the bottom and be dragging over all the gunk. You know, most places I fish don't have a real clear bottom. There's some kind of gunk there. If it's too heavy, it'll get gunked up too quick. That's why you got to almost go to a drop shot or very light shaky head. But anyway, the 1/8 ounce I was interested in trying, so I picked up it and went ahead and picked up a quarter while I was there. These were real cheap. They were like less than $2 for 3 of them. So I don't know how well the hookup ratio will be, but these little biffle bug hard heads, these things actually work very good. Hookup ratio is pretty good. I don't have any issues with them so far that I've used them. I also, I need to get better swim bait heads. I have no idea which ones are the good ones to use and which size I really like. We were having luck on the Berkeley Fusion heads, and I was also just rigging one up. You'll see in the video I had the Keytex rigged up on these, but this biffle style, the Keytex ripped right off, but the bass were hitting them awesome with just that kind of a setup. But at Bass Pro Shops for like $1.20, you can get these little, I really bought them. I might try them with these, but I actually bought them just to put some of the smaller, not necessarily this size, but I'm going to get the 3.2s or the 3.0 size, and I already have some of the cheaper ones from AliExpress, so probably close to this size will go pretty good on just different jig heads, just, you know, to have different jig heads to have around. Oh, and I don't know if Charles, he has very good luck with this kind of thing. So anyway, on to this part, and what my main talk was on the fishing stuff as far as reels go. I picked up, what's this guy talking about? Somebody's talking nuts. So a while back I picked up this Tatula SV, and I had never bought, I've had this Type R when they first come out. I had a couple of those. Then I had the CT and the CT Type R, but I hadn't went ahead and got the SV, and I've heard people just over the years talking about how good they are. I picked this one up used, just kind of bought it in a package deal with the Big Sexy rod from Favorite, and got a pretty good deal on it. And I picked up this Tatula rod, which I absolutely love this rod, but this SV spool is kind of like magic. I don't know if you guys are familiar, watch the Reel Test. He's a Shimano guy, and he'll dog Daiwas, but there's something about that SV spools that are just, they work very well. So well, I had all these gift cards, and that's what's funny is Joe Walters, I sold him my Corrado DC, and he had $100, you know, I got some gift cards from him when he bought the Corrado DC. Well, he just messaged me yesterday showing me pictures of he went and he switched over. He sold the DC and ended up going and bought some Tatulas, because I don't know what it is about the newer Corrados. I know a lot of you guys love them. I like the ones I had, but I had the Scorpion, the K, and the DC. All good, excellent reels, but I just, you know, I'm the higher end Shimanos I do like, but those lower range, I don't know, I just can't make myself like them and keep them. So I went and I bought a brand new SV Daiwa Tatula. And the reason I didn't wait and get the newer style when I was holding the size 100, the newest Tatulas, it's hard to explain, but I actually like the way the CT SV is compared to the newer 100, and that's the same size. If you guys are familiar with Daiwa, not the newest Steez. The newest Steez is actually the Steez, which is even smaller, but the just the Steez A and the Steez SV are what the size of the newest Tatulas coming out are. But this is the older style, which I believe your Zillions still come in this size, and the original CT, all of your Tatulas that size. And it just is, it's about right there. I wish it was lighter, but it is pretty pretty comfortable to palm, and just how smooth these Daiwa reels are. You know, everybody talks, well, the Reel Test and a few other people talk about how the Shimanos are. Shimano to me is a more mechanical. I knew that was going to happen, but the Shimanos are more mechanical feeling for some reason. But when it comes to the magnesium framed ones, which a lot of guys talk like they don't like that, it's got a hollowed feel. I actually like that. I feel more connected to the bait, if that makes any sense to some of you guys that know what I'm talking about. Like the, I'll just hold up, consider pretty much my favorite combo, and it's not even a NRX rod or a little small compact reel, but this thing here with the KTF spool and the little 6'5" Conqueror rod, when you're reeling your baits, I don't know, just the sensitivity and feel of this with braid, this is an awesome combo. And I credit some of that is the fact that that's it's a big magnesium framed reel. I like that. So I like the MGLs. I tried to get the older one I had. I sold it to Bonsai guy. For some reason I didn't like that. But if I had a favorite rod and reel combo, period, to throw a variety of things, is this thing. So if you guys have never, messed with an NRX, there's just something about this combo, man, I'm telling you guys right now. I splurge, with the whole, coronavirus going around, the stimulus package and all that. I know I should have been, stocking up on meat and putting it in a deep freeze and all that, but I'm good with all of that kind of stuff. Haven't had to not work or any of that. But anyway, I like the reel so much. The brand new one I bought. Before I broke down and bought a brand new one, I come across two used ones, but here's the brand new one. And I did get the MG Aldebaran 30 and put on it just because it has a little bit of a blue tin. I plan on ordering some blue parts for it just to give it that, and I got a blue knob coming for it. But these are just awesome rods. I'm not telling you you have to have an NRX to fish with. I'm not even telling you they're actually more sensitive than some other rods out there, but what this one does, and this is a used one I picked up, thank you to whoever sold me this used one. What I am telling you is, though, the range of baits that some of these higher end rods will throw. It's got a soft tip, yet it's not going to break on a heavier bait or like big fish. Now, I'm not going to boat flip. This is 802, which is considered their medium. It's not, going to 5-pounders in the boat. I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe somebody has. I'm not going to try it. As far as the range of baits I can throw with the higher end rods is pretty awesome. Same thing with this Tatula, but it also has such a fast tip. It's got like a solid tip, and I noticed there's a Steez they have out just like this. The specs are pretty much just the same, but they want like crazy amounts of money, and maybe that's why they quit making the Tatula and they just put it out on the Steez. They realized it was a little too high-end a thing to go on a Tatula rod, but this thing I picked up brand new from a guy for 70 bucks. And I wish I could find a couple more just to have as spares. You only really need one. It's more of a, technique-specific rod. I still have the Conqueror that hasn't broke, the 6'7". And so what I'm doing today is I bought this one. I know I wouldn't mind a higher gear for more of this lightweight flipping and stuff, but since, you know me, I'm a color combo matching kind of person. I'm going to put this one. It'll match up perfectly, and it's brand new, and this rod is pretty much new. It's less than a month old. This one's got a few nicks on it. I'm going to put it on the old Conqueror, 6'7". I'm going to take this one back off and put back on. I have a 6'10" heavy action Conqueror still that I'm going to put this big monster back on to throw the biggest of the baits, I'm going to throw. And, if I'm going flipping or pitching or anyway. So my arsenal is pretty much complete now. I will talk real quick about, before I get out of here, I know I never do anything real quick. To complete the whole, my arsenal and what I have to recommend for anybody, if you are a BFS guy or want to be a BFS guy and you're just like, well, what would I get? I don't want to spend a small fortune. What I recommend now, I used to be the, I can't remember the name of it now. Do you guys remember which one I used to recommend? Oh boy, I'm getting old, losing my memory. But I've always recommended Kings from the time I bought them. I had the 632 and I had, the Habo Steed. I got rid of it at the beginning of this season, last season. And that's still a good reel, but this reel here, the PW100, is a little more compact. It's not aluminum frame. It's probably not going to last as long as the Habo Steed. But as far as casting ability, the palmability, and the feel of it, and lightweight, if I had to recommend you guys to a true BFS setup to get, I'm talking not necessarily for bass fishing, for panfish, trout, maybe some bass. Uh, it's the Teton. I'll try to get it zoomed in here. It probably won't pick up. Let's try it like this. Well, anyway, that is a 522 SUL, super ultralight. Let me read the specs to you. zero point 0.8 to 3 grams, 1 to, it says I think 3 pound, but I'm running 10 pound on it. And you guys, if you've watched any of my videos, I've caught 2.5 pound bass on this already. This thing is kind of like a noodle, but it can throw heavier baits, and it's not going to, well, I'm not going to say it's not going to break, but it probably won't break on you if you stick anywhere close to the specs or the line it recommends. You can throw down to, I only throw down to like a 16th ounce bait, but you could probably go just a touch lighter. I have no problem. This is like my crappie rod and reel, if you guys heard me talk about it. If I'm setting out for just, crappie start hitting and bass are slowed down, I'll throw this and just start having fun with it. A step up from that, which is probably, that's what I recommend if you guys just want something cheap. What I still recommend, and I don't care if you have a bunch of money to spend $400 or $500 on a rod, the NRX, they don't make a rod light enough for true, fun BFS fishing, because that 802 is still, stout enough. You're not going to have a ton of fun with little fish. They have to be sort of a decent size. But this 661, it is the one piece. It's a little more money. It's about $100. Those other ones are about $50 each. That 522 is about 50. Is about 50. But this is what I call on a higher end. The Tetons are fairly sensitive. It's got a nice, pretty soft tip. Now I can throw 16th ounce baits, but I prefer they start out the 661 ounce to up to, you guys see me throw the whopper plopper on this thing. This rod is an amazing little rod for $100. My favorite still a reel for BFS fishing or any of your lighter weight stuff is the BFS XG. Comes with a clicker. You guys hear that clicking? Magnesium frame, palmability is awesome. There's nothing wrong with this reel. The Abu Garcia, I would recommend over this, maybe if it came with the clicker on it, the LTX BF8. The LC BF7 has a clicker, but weighs more, so therefore I have to, that's why I have this one, and you see I've sold off the others. This is just an awesome reel that Shimano puts out. That's why I bought the other Aldebarans, and I have on the NRX rods. There is like almost a perfect reel. I set my drags kind of light, as some of you know, so I don't really have any issues. I've heard guys talk about gear issues with Shimano's when you get to that micro modulus gearing. I don't have any issues with it because I don't crank on my drags. I run pretty heavy line, about 15-pound test is the biggest I run. I don't go 30, 40, 50-pound braid, none of that, and crank the drags down. I set the drags. If you guys don't know how I set the drags, I got videos out on that. I keep reel socks on my reels while I'm not using them. I peel this off and I'll show you. I bought this one used, and it does have a nick, so I picked it up for $200 just for that nick right there. You can't find these in new condition, used, but no nicks for under 3 or so. So that's why I don't know. I just push the issue. I do it for myself. And I recommend all you guys, even if you buy some of the cheaper reels, a lot of these don't take any kind of rubbing on stuff very well. They'll get scratched up. You go to sell them, you got to sell them for way less than you would if you kept them wrapped up. So my plan is this brand new one right here. Now it's probably going to get a scratch somewhere, but I plan on keeping a reel sock on it, even though it was a $200 reel. Some of you guys think that's not expensive. Other guys are like, that's crazy expensive. This reel's got some scuffs on it I bought used. This one, here's the only scuff I can actually tell you I can remember putting on a couple years. There's a scuff on this one right here. If any of you guys go back to the snake video, the wind was blowing so hard that day I actually had it laid up against a tree, and I thought there's no way it would fall. Well, the wind blew it off the tree and it landed on that rock ledge, and it put that little scratch. And that sucks because this was actually almost a scuff-free reel. Does not hurt or affect the capabilities of this reel, none so what. But if I go to sell this, that little scratch right there, I'll have to knock money off for that reel for that reason. And if I would have just stuck that sock back on instead of, you know, just knowing that there's nothing, no way nothing was going to happen to it. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I still got a lot to do. I'm going to try to go fishing for a couple hours. It's supposed to storm, but like if you guys are following it, the 10-day forecast is supposed to have thunderstorms every day. It hasn't had a thunderstorm except one night for like a few hours, and it's been just kind of damp, rainy, not too bad. Would have been awesome fishing weather. I've been planning other stuff instead of fishing. So we're going to get out and fish. I think tomorrow I'll probably be going with Bonsai Guy to that place that the videos that are out right now. I may hit it again. And then I think next weekend I'm going to try to hit Charles up and we'll go to the strip pits again. I'm going to try to hit Lake Jacomo, which is local. It's closest probably lake by me, but my little boat just isn't quite big enough for Jacomo, but I'm going to try to work out a deal there. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions on any of these, oh, wait a minute. I was holding the wrong rod and reel up. I lost my mind. Here's a 661. It's got this rod on it, or reel. That's a 632 that I was holding up, which is also an awesome one that is for true BFS. That's one I recommend. For an anything all-around rod that I have thrown the Whopper Plopper on is a 661. So I confused myself there. But any of the Cayenne Tettons, if you guys are still looking for a BFS rod, I know if you follow the channel, you're probably not looking anymore. But BFS fishing, get a Cayenne Tetton. Kind of bait finesse, getting away from spinning gear, 4 bass. I can't really recommend the Conqueror line. The Cayenne Conqueror, you guys have heard my issues. I've had a couple rods break. Still have a couple rods. I like them. They feel good. If you don't have an issue with spending $120 on a rod and possibly could break, I would say get them, but I can't recommend them. The Tettons, I had no issues with these three even thinking about, you know, I've put them through it, and they're holding up strong. The Conquerors, I tried to put some of them through it, and they've snapped, and I haven't really put this one to the test yet. I've actually taken it a touch easy on it because the other one started breaking, but I love the way it feels. 6'5", it's awesome balance with a little bit heavier rod. It has an awesome, just lightweight, sensitive feel. You know, I fish with braid, so it doesn't have to be, you know, NRX sensitive, which these are all, you know, they're all sensitive. I couldn't really tell you that an NRX is so sensitive, you know, over all these others. I think this Tatula is a very sensitive rod for having a solid tip that I think transfers is completely separated. And at some point they've joined them together here, but it carries a sensitivity all the way through and feels real good. The 6'7" Conqueror feels good to me. Very sensitive. I don't feel on any of my rods that they feel dead or like I can't detect the bite when I get a hit, but I fish braid on everything. So anyway, I don't know, somebody goofball was asking a question. That guy's a nut. Story of my life, right? I attract nuts. Anyway, hopefully you liked that quick video on what I got going on. All right. So anyway, I'm done. Losing the bulbs in the ground. It's planting stuff. Garden related. That's out of my, I ain't doing none of that. I do the bonsai. Nothing to do with the true garden. Bonsai garden. All right, get out of here. Go bass and bonsai somewhere else. And thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to be fishing either later today or tomorrow. Bye.